Good evening, I'm Sarah Sapsanama. Let's begin with the headlines of the hour. Rain-induced floods, landslides along with lightning kills at least 16 people. Majority places in Biratnagar and Rajbiraj inundated. Many sections along the highways also obstructed. Central Investigation Bureau's probe shows transactions exceeding 100 billion rupees through online payment gateways in the gold smuggling case. Former President Vidya Devi Bhandari says she intends to return to active politics despite having served as head of the state. Says she needs to address remaining national and international agendas. And Afghanistan to take on South Africa in the first semi-final of the ICC T20 Men's Cricket World Cup, slated for 6:15 a.m. Nepal time tomorrow. 8 people have lost their lives to landslides triggered by incessant rainfall in various places across the country. 5 deaths were reported from Lamjung, 2 from Kaski and 1 from Okhaltunga. 4 people died in Bagum of Lamjung's Kohola Sothar rural municipality last night. They were first reported to be missing after 3 houses were buried. However, later their dead bodies were retrieved from the debris. The deceased have been identified as 67-year-old Rudraman Gurung, his daughter-in-law 36-year-old Panchakumari Gurung, and granddaughters 4-year-old Namrata Gurung and 8-year-old Icha Gurung. Elsewhere in Hile of Dordi rural municipality, 1 person died last night following a landslide. 16-year-old Bikal Sunar was injured in the incident and succumbed to his injuries while receiving treatment. Another injured 18-year-old Milan Sunar is receiving treatment in Lamjung Hospital. In Kaski, a girl child and a boy child have died in separate landslide incidents. 13-year-old Ayushma Ranabhat died in landslide in Chite Pani of Kaski's Madi rural municipality. 70-year-old Lal Maya Banjara was rescued in the same incident. Another 3-year-old Anmol Sunar from Pokhara's Arupata died after his house was buried by landslide. 27-year-old Ritu Sunar sustained injuries in the same incident and is receiving treatment in Gandaki Medical College. Elsewhere in Okhaltunga, 1 person has died and 2 others were injured. The deceased has been identified as 35-year-old Dev Kumari Khatri from Thumki of Chisangkhu Gari rural municipality. Her husband, 39-year-old Baburam Khatri, and 18-year-old daughter Menuka were seriously injured in the same incident. The number of rain-triggered landslides have shot up since the onset of the monsoon season. Sudur Paschim, Gandaki, Bagmati and few places in Madhya province witnessed rainfall today. Now, several places in Koshi and Madhya provinces have been inundated after incessant rainfall since yesterday. 30 houses were flooded in Saptari's Rupani rural municipality. According to former ward chair of Rupani 1, Pitambar Yadav, waters from the swollen Khado river entered into settlement. However, the water levels have receded to some extent as of this moment. Over 24 houses in Rajbiraj have been flooded due to incessant rainfall. Likewise, the Kanchanpur Fatehpur Road section in Saptari's Saptakosi municipality has been flooded by the Tengra river waters. Meanwhile, a person has been swept by the flood in Madi river in Chitwan. According to Chitwan police, flood in the Magai river of Madi municipality, ward number 5, Charchare, it has swept away 45-year-old Rana Bahadur Kami. Vehicles heading towards Madi Thori from Bharatpur have been stranded because of continuous rainfall and rise in water level at the local rivers. Seven people have died in lightning incidents across the country. 2 deaths were reported in Kapilvastu, 2 in Kailali, 2 in Rolpa and 1 in Lamjung. Early in the morning today, 17-year-old Raj Thakur from Dhankauli of Kapilvastu Buddha Bhumi municipality and 22-year-old Mahesh Kalwar of Yasodhara rural municipality Bhaisahiya died after they were hit by lightning while working in the fields. In Kailali's Dhangari sub-metropolis, 27-year-old Shalim Chaudhary and 31-year-old Jairam Dagaur of Bhitriya of Josipur rural municipality died after being struck by lightning. 5 others injured are receiving treatment. Likewise, in Rolpa's Sun Chahari, 22-year-old Jaita Gharti Magar and 14-year-old Gomala Gharti Magar lost their lives due to lightning strike. Another 65-year-old Dan Bahadur Bhujel also died in Kemli of Lamjung's Chara Gao. Now, in our public voice segment, we have asked in all 7 provinces what should be done to protect themselves from floods and landslides. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
जहाँ चाहिँ अब पहिरो जाने सम्भावना छ भने त्यसको मुनिहरू घर नबनाउने
खोला नदी कटानहरूलाई चाहिँ जाली लगाएर त्यसको व्यवस्थित गर्न जरुरी छ।
भूक्षय भएको ठाउँमा घरहरू बनाउनु भएन।
खोलाको चाहिँ आडमा बस्दाखेरि हैन हामी चाहिँ अलि सजग भएर बस्नु पर्यो। जनप्रतिनिधिहरूले यहाँ यस्तो खालका चाहिँ खतराहरू चाहिँ नि छ, त्यसकारणले यहाँ तपाईहरु चाहिँ नबस्नुस् भनेर भन्न पर्यो।
राज्य संयन्त्रले चाहिँ त्यस्ता घटना घट्ने ठाउँहरूलाई अलिकति खुल्ला ठाउँहरू मैदानहरू खोज्ने, त्यस्ता भवनहरू निर्माण गर्ने,
भएका बिरुवालाई नकाट्ने, यदि काटिहाल्यो भने बिरुवा ठाउँमा फेरि बिरुवा रोप्ने।
खोला नालाको छेउमा बाँस बिरुवा रोप्नु पर्यो।
पौडी खेल्न जाने, गर्मी भयो भनेर खोलामा जाने त्यस्तो गर्नु हुँदैन, किनभने बाढी पहिरो भनेको त एउटा प्राकृतिक प्रकोप हो, जतिखेर पनि आउन सक्छ।
Central Investigation Bureau's probe has shown transactions exceeding 100 billion rupees through online payment gateways in the gold smuggling case. Meanwhile, the investigation into the 60 kilograms of gold confiscated from TIA last year is still underway. The Bureau's probe has shown that online payment gateways, Paywell and Sajilo Pay, were involved in the payments related to gold smuggling in Nepal. Despite identification of smuggling of 390 kilograms of gold from Nepal in the first phase, details of transactions were not identified. However, the second phase of investigation by the Bureau has found the involvement of use of online payment gateways. A total of 20 individuals alleged of involvement in the crime are being held by CIB in the second phase of investigations. Of them, 6 individuals are operators of online payment companies, Paywell and Sajilo Pay. According to the CIB, unnatural transactions were carried out by those allegedly involved in smuggling. Operators including Bhim Prasad Timalsina and Suraj Samsher JB Rana of Paywell have been arrested. Until a year ago, the annual transactions through Paywell figured at around 11 billion rupees. However, the amount has increased 8-fold since 25th of April 2023. Transactions of 86 billion 170 million rupees have been carried out from Paywell in the past 1 year, which the Bureau has found suspicious. Transactions of Sajilo Pay from 16th of May 2021 figure 36 billion rupees. Prior to that, the transactions were limited to 1.5 billion rupees. The Bureau has claimed that both companies were involved in transactions of a total of 122 billion 710 million rupees. Investigations have also shown that payment for gold smuggled into Nepal have been made in cryptocurrencies from Australia and Korea. The two companies have opened accounts at 21 banks. Even the banks are suspected of hiding information related to suspicious transactions of online payment gateways. With the second phase of investigation into the smuggling case nearing its conclusion, the Bureau has made preparations to submit its report. According to CIB, 3,194 kilograms of gold had been smuggled into Nepal through brake shoes and other goods in the period of 5 years. Despite the involvement of the 72 individuals in the case, only 49 have been arrested so far. Now, former President Vidya Devi Bhandari has said she intends to return to politics to address remaining national and international agendas despite having reached the supreme position of the country. Speaking with Kantipur television, former President Bhandari said that there was possibility for holding a membership in a party based on the need of the country. Regarding the approval of the dissolution of the House of Representatives while serving in the capacity of the President, Bhandari said that the situation for dissolution of the Parliament was created because of internal conflict in Nepal Communist Party. Bhandari accepted that she had approved the decision of erstwhile Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli to dissolve the Parliament. Despite Supreme Court terming the dissolution of the lower house unconstitutional, Bhandari said that she was still clear on handing the Prime Minister the right to seek a fresh public mandate. Making a critical note towards the political role being played by CPN Maoist Centre, Bhandari said that such acts only push the nation towards instability. The former president also said she had suggested Nepali Congress and CPN Yamol to contest elections on their own and play their respective roles assigned by the public through their election votes. Before serving as the president for 2 times, Bhandari had become a lawmaker, minister and deputy chair of CPN UML. It is now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
But before today's question, let's take a look at the results from yesterday's poll. Yesterday, we asked you what's your take on Prime Minister Pushpa Kanodahal's statement that that he would correct the recommendation for ambassador right before the appointment. 41% voted for option A, admitting mistake, 13% for B, hoping for correction, and 46% for C, influenced by the ruling equation. And here's today's question. What do you term the statement of the minister regarding moving the CIAA for irregularities in the health sector? Your options are A, erase irregularities, B, take actions, and C, do not engage in popularity stunt. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. We'll take a short break here. More news coming up. Arvind Kejriwal has been sent to the custody of CBI, in fact, for 3 days following his arrest by the federal agency in the alleged liquor policy case. The agency had asked for custody for 5 days. Kejriwal was arrested by the CIB inside Delhi's Rouse Avenue court and then inside a tumultuous hour withdrew a Supreme Court petition challenging a stay on grant of his bail after his arrest in March in the same case by the Enforcement Directorate. The top court petition was withdrawn. The ED offered no objection, citing a desire to launch a more substantial appeal against the High Court's decision to stay the Rouse Avenue court's bail order. The death toll amid protests against Kenyan government plans to raise revenue through additional taxes has risen to 23, according to rights groups. More than 300 have now been injured in the violence, but what exactly spurred the unrest? Let's take a look at Kenya, that witnessed tax protest rallies that quickly escalated to deadly clashes. The death toll in Kenya tax protests has risen to at least 23. Over 300 people have been injured in the violence that spurred because of a finance bill that the Kenyan government proposed for the year 2024-25. So what is a finance bill? A finance bill is usually presented to Parliament before the start of a financial year that runs from July to June, laying out the government's fiscal plans. In the 2024-25 bill, the Kenyan government aimed to raise $2.7 billion in additional taxes to reduce the budget deficit and state borrowing. Kenya's public debt stands at 68% of GDP, higher than the 55% of GDP recommended by the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund. Grappling with acute liquidity challenges amid uncertainty over its ability to access capital from financial markets, Kenya has turned to the IMF, which has urged the government to meet revenue targets to access more funding. Protesters wanted the government to abandon the planned tax hikes, which they argue will choke the economy and raise the cost of living for Kenyans who are already struggling to make ends meet. But this was not the first time a finance bill has met with resistance from some citizens. The government of President William Ruto, who was elected in 2022 on a pledge to uplift lives of the poor, last year used the bill to introduce a housing tax and to raise the top personal income tax rate, sparking anger, street protests, and court challenges. This time, the proposed measures that have triggered protests include new levies on basic commodities like bread, vegetable oil, and sugar, and a new motor vehicle circulation tax pegged at 2.5% of the value of a car to be paid annually. An eco-levy on most manufactured goods, including sanitary towels and diapers, were also on the cards. In addition to the new taxes, the bill proposed increasing existing taxes on financial transactions. The government has said the tax measures are necessary to fund development programs and cut public debt. Last week, the government softened its position a little, with Ruto endorsing recommendations to scrap some of the new levies, including on car ownership, bread, and the eco-levy on locally manufactured goods. The Finance Ministry said such concessions would blow a 200 billion Kenyan shilling, which is $1.56 billion hole in the 2024-25 budget and necessitate spending cuts. Protesters and opposition parties said the concessions are not enough and want the whole bill abandoned. After Tuesday's parliament session, William Ruto declined to sign the contentious finance bill that lawmakers voted to pass. In his speech, Ruto said, "I run a government, but I also lead people, and the people have spoken." That is all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Good night.